Trying to make your tree pop this year. There is nothing like homemade ornaments, and these stunning 3D paper stars are so easy to make. So whether you want to make these decorate your tree, or you want to give them as little gifts, or you want a craft to do with the kids in your life, we always love doing something different for Christmas every year, and these make fun little gifts. So they're an easy way to add a little handmade touch. I think you could do a lot of things too, like build a little streamer across, do different sizes. So grab some 4-inch squares of designer series paper and make these along with me. So I just have a bunch, and any paper would work, but I was really liking this paper. It has pinks and reds, but I thought it just was kind of an unusual look for Christmas, and yet it still really fit. And you can just see how pretty it'd be to have a whole bunch of these. I think even on the table, there's a lot of things that I think you could do with these. So let's go ahead, and you can fold along with me. Of course, you'll find a project sheet to download on my website. So we're going to look at the side I want facing. Now I want to mention in this one, these are different papers from the same pack. So you can mix and match. These are all from the same because I was cutting up one piece of paper. And this is a 4-inch square, but you could try these with other sizes too. There's nothing great about measurements. It's just whatever you decide to do. So the first thing we're going to do is pick the outside part we want to show, and that I'm choosing to be this side. So this, I'm going to go corner to corner as a triangle. Now, if you have kids and you have a little bit of trouble in your life, it doesn't need to be your kids, be grandkids, nieces, nephews, neighbor kids, and you're having a little trouble figuring it out, have them watch the video with you because they won't have any trouble. I remember back when I asked my son, when I just started, and I asked one of my sons, my younger one at the time, how to do something. I was struggling with the pattern, and he goes, "Mom, that's basic origami." I go, "Well, I don't know what that is." So he just showed me, and I'd been trying to follow this pattern. So that's why I say, and he was probably 10 or 11 at the time, but it was just kind of funny. So here are my triangles, and this one, we're going to flip it over, and now we're going to do in half. So do you notice we did half and half, triangle to triangle? We do the same thing, but we're having them the other way. So we're having them this way in half, and then open it up in this way. And that is, yes, basic origami. From here, we can do all kinds of things. But I thought, isn't that cool? So now if you look at this, you can see how this shape is going, which I think is just fun to see. You can also see, so you know what, this alone with doing with kids, I think this would make a fun banner. I should do these, just put across the fireplace, put holes and attach strings. Wouldn't that be an easy, lovely craft to do? But we're going to go ahead and make these fancy stars today. But that is always one thought. So to turn these in, the back's going to look like this. You're going to see we need slits up the side here. Now, here's my little trick for measuring, because I like things to be quick and easy. And I knew I was going to make a bunch of these for our tree. So I took an old pair of scissors that, I don't care about a lot, but it wouldn't matter anyway. I love making marks on things. So I just used a permanent marker and decided where I wanted the cut to end. Instead of, the other option would be to measure this and then do pencil marks, so you can do either way. But I always love to show speedy little tricks because I'm going to do a whole bunch. And if the kids were helping me, this is just kind of fun. So I'm just putting that at the edge here. So that's my little trick today. The other thing that's fun, though, I want to mention about working with kids, this makes geometry, math, all that stuff kind of fun. And the trick is to not be too fussy about how things turn out. We're all learning. I mean, we've learned as adults to be hard enough on ourselves, but I think having kids just explore, this makes fun use of measuring, cutting, looking at how shapes come together, and then shapes you see out in the world. I think, it just sort of adds to that. So it makes learning fun. And I think when we participate with them, it's fun too. They're doing cool things. They're doing the same things we're doing. And it's not like we, just set aside kid crafts for them. So I love the idea of introducing kids to the interests in your life. Okay, so now I have my little slits. And now all I'm going to do, and again, this doesn't have to be too fussy. I'm just going to fold in. You can see here's my point here. So I want to get it to the point, and I'm kind of going in kind of to the score line, but it doesn't matter if it's over. I have learned nothing here really matters. So I just try to get it to the corner. and then to wherever that little slit is. So do you see where that? And I'm just going to go around and do that for all of them. And of course, then you'd put the Christmas music on, and after this, you'd have some snacks. But I think what a fun on the, you saw this hanging on a tree on the thumbnail. So I thought it was just fun. I had to go take a picture, put it on our tree, and at least get one picture like that. I just kind of like the phrase of, homemade Christmas, where you're adding different things. Okay, let's figure this one out. And now at each step here, we could stop and be done and use it for something else. I think this is a really pretty, it's a 4-pointed star. But do you see if I did 2 of them and added the other one on top, I would have a really cool 8-pointed star that way. I could make it just like this. I could make a big card with it. This could be a package topper. I think there's all kinds of things we could glue these down, and these would make a fun banner across. I may just have to try that. I have to think about that. But as you're playing, and if you're playing with kids and they come up with other ideas, have them go for it. I mean, this is where we all become more creative. We just take an idea and we start running with it. So we will go ahead and put this together. So what I'm going to use is seal. I love using this, partly because you can see it well on camera, but I could use other things too. But I like to put these on, and I am going to go put around on 4 here. But you could use glue, other tape. I love this because I don't care if I go off the edges, because it'll just fold right back on itself. And some of these I'm making long, some short. So obviously there's just no real, real pattern here. So, okay, let us try this. And I want to fold this over. I'm going to put my finger in here. And I'm going to fold this over and come kind of as close to the edge as I can. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put my little finger in here and then press it down. Now I could also use my stylus. I could use anything smaller to get this down good. I found using my little finger was just fine, but whatever. We're going to go around and do that to all of them. Oh, I did this before and then I tore it. I'm going to end up tearing this one again. I just know it. Let's see if I can take it off. Because you know what I did? I'm going to see if this works. What you want to do before you do this is pop it this way so the center will be out. I was doing one and I did it too late. And now I will put these together. I'm going to do that one last because I'll probably have to put a new little sticker on it. Okay, of course, on camera, these just don't want to cooperate. There. I'm going to put this one over. Press it in, and maybe I should just go ahead. Let's see if this one's going to stay, if it's going to cooperate for now or not. Otherwise, I'll just add another layer of, we'll see, it might still work. We'll see if it holds. I'm going to go around and do all of it. Now, this is the part that's easy to do. Like if you were doing things across the fireplace and you found this a little too fine motor, you could also do, this is 4 inches. You could do 6 inches, 8 inches. You can use bigger sizes if you're, depending on what you're going to use the end result for. Okay, and look so this is the fun part. I love making a bunch of these. So I think a bunch of these, even in a basket, would be a pretty little Christmas decoration. Now, the tricky part I found was to get them now to stay together. And I don't know if I have the best. I'm going to try a couple of things here. This is how, and I made my string really short. I like how it looks on the tree, but you could do them if I were making a bunch, I'd probably end up, nothing ever turns out the same. So they'd be a variety and that would be just fine. And you place it on the tree accordingly, right? So what I wanted to do, so I will have 2 now. I have 2 of these ready. This is the string that I'm going to use. I'm using this little pearlized thing. And I don't know if it matters, but I was just concerned about it slipping out. So what I did was I just punched out a little circle, and then it could be a square, it could be anything. And then I just used my pokey tool to just put that right in there. And then what I did was just put these through. Let's see, I might have to make the hole a little bit bigger, but we'll see if it works. I feel like I should play music during the... Okay, well, I think I might have to make my hole a little bit bigger here. Let me see where my tool disappeared to. Here it is. Okay. Just be careful in doing this. I'm just going to make it a wee bit bigger. It worked just really niftily on the others that I made, you know. And maybe I'll just do the other end. We'll see if I can get this through. Okay, it worked. Okay, so I'm doing this just because I thought when this goes on the inside, it would be just harder for it to slip out. So I don't know that it's necessary. And then I'm just going to do knots down here. I'm going to do a couple. Make it nice and big. So hopefully that wouldn't slip out. I mean, that should be all you need. Let's kind of see how should I'll make this one longer just so we have a little variety, right? I don't know if it'll end up being longer or not. Might not be. It just might go to its own place, but I just love it when things don't matter. I'm actually even going to put 3 on there. So there's no way this thing's going to slip out. And then I'm going to trim off the end. So this part is going to go in here. And you can see, I don't think there's any way I'm going to worry about that slipping out. Then this is going to go on top. So what I did on the last one is I used the glue dots. I am very fond of glue dots. And that works really well. It's a little putsy. So I thought, let's try glue. I'm never a fan of glue, but I'm really trying to learn to like it. I know a lot of you love it. So I thought, let's try this. If this doesn't work, try this. But the idea is try anything. You know, whatever works for you is going to be wonderful. I am going to take this and I'm actually going to put little dots on each corner here. What I have trouble with glue is making sure it's just little bits. But you see how I'm doing, but see, this is much faster than putting the other little dots on. So I thought, well, we'll try both. Because if I want to make a double, see, I don't mind the putsy parts. I do the putsy parts if we are watching TV or something. But if you are all crafting in a group, you'd want to get these done faster. So I'm going to see if this works. And I'm just going to press that over. This glue should dry clear. So I'm thinking I just will hold it and we'll see if it works. And then you see how I have this lovely, lovely ornament. I'm just going to have to hold it for a while. Oh, I think it's going to work just fine. Okay, I'm still going to hold it so a little longer. But if you like this ornament, I have more ornaments right here. Watch this video next. Thanks. Karen Titus, Stepping in the Back Porch.